"2019 marks 25 years since the disappearance of 23-year-old Karen Denise Wells, a single mother who resided in Haskell, Oklahoma. It was the 10th of April 1994 when Denise, as she was known by family and friends, made arrangements to meet with Melissa Shepherd, a childhood friend who was in need of some help in New Jersey. Denise had organised the route from Haskell to Bergen and estimated that the full round trip would take approximately 4 days. Long road trips were not new to Denise, so her family were not particularly concerned as she had in the past driven long distances when she had resided in South Dakota. She dropped off her son, William, with her parents before travelling to Tulsa in order to rent out a vehicle, which was a white 1993 Plymouth Acclaim. She then departed on her journey towards New Jersey. On the 12th of April, with just a few hours left until she reached her destination, an exhausted Denise parked up at the Pike Motel, located in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. She called Melissa at 7:30 p.m, notifying her of the slight change of plans. Denise wasn't going to make it to her friends on time and told her that she had gotten lost more than once on the road. The pair agreed that Melissa would travel to the motel and they would meet the following morning. During the phone call, Denise told Melissa that she was planning on getting a bite to eat at a McDonald's restaurant, and then she would be returning to her room to get some sleep. This was the last time anyone heard from Denise Wells. At approximately midnight on the 13th of April, Melissa arrived at the Pike Motel, reportedly with 2 other men she had been acquainted with at the club where she worked. Melissa and her companions walked to Denise's room and knocked on the door. However, there was no answer. Once again, she tried to alert her friend, but Melissa was, for a second time, met with silence. Concerned and irritated, Melissa asked for aid from a clerk, and eventually they managed to enter the room. The bed remained freshly made, the room key was present, and Denise's clothes and possessions were left untouched. Strangely, there was no sign of Denise. The police investigation began, and the motel were able to confirm that upon check-in at 8 p.m. on the 12th of April, Denise had requested directions to the closest McDonald's restaurant. In the early hours of the 13th of April, along Route 274 in Perry County near Germantown, the abandoned Plymouth Acclaim sedan with the registration ITZ974 was recovered. The vehicle lay approximately 35 miles away from the Pike Motel, sitting westbound at a standstill. The car was splattered in mud and scratched. Both front doors were open, the gas tank was empty, and the battery had been completely drained of power. The interior of the vehicle was cluttered with empty drinks bottles, and also found was a pack of French fries, a pair of shoes, maps, and a small bag containing an illegal substance. In a nearby ditch, Denise's purse was found, which still contained some cash, and oddly, the odometer in the car showed that Denise had driven an extra 600 or 700 miles. It was theorised that these numbers came from when she got lost on the road, and possibly was given incorrect directions by someone, perhaps intentionally or perhaps not. Also, police had been unable to determine the cause of the damage and why the car was left abandoned where it was. Investigators believed that Wells had travelled as far east as Burnville in Berks County before turning back and driving through Cumberland County. This was extremely unusual as Berks County is closer to New Jersey than Cumberland County. Therefore, the reason for Denise turning back is unknown. There was an alleged sighting of her during the days she was travelling. She was apparently witnessed in Schaefferstown, Lebanon County, which lies an hour closer to New Jersey from the Pike Motel. Police strongly suspected foul play. Melissa Shepard's phone records showed a call from a number based in Carlisle around 17 hours before Denise stopped at the motel, and according to law enforcement, Melissa was unable to explain the call, where the person on the other line stayed on voicemail for a suspiciously lengthy period of time. It was baffling as to why Shepard arrived at the motel hours after the phone call when the pair had arranged to meet the next day at a more reasonable hour, and why she brought two men with her is another question which remains unanswered. Authorities tried making contact with Melissa to ask further questions, however, she vanished from the radar and her current whereabouts are a mystery. Denise Wells had a previous conviction for forgery in South Dakota where she had been residing with her father, and she had been in a relationship with a married man. On Thanksgiving 1994, the man's wife allegedly received a phone call from Denise, who told her that she had married and did not intend on returning home. The story was never officially confirmed, and authorities do not believe that Denise Wells was responsible for the call. Denise's mother, Jorma, continues to search for answers in the hope that one day she will know what happened to her daughter. When Denise disappeared, she was unemployed, but was said to have been enjoying life as a single mother. Jorma, who spoke via email with Matt Miller of Penn Live, stated, "I have always hoped that someday she will return, although I do feel something has happened to her. I know there is no way on earth that she wouldn't have contacted her son that she so adores or the many people that love her. I am sure that only a handful of people know what happened, and I can't point the finger at any one person." Chief Detective Les Freeling, who was also interviewed, said, "My own professional opinion is that she's not alive. She came here to meet a friend and something went bad." After an appeal by Jorma and Bill Wells, Denise was legally declared deceased by the courts. However, she is still listed as a missing person. Karen Denise Wells was born on the 22nd of September 1970 and gave birth to her son in 1992. She was Caucasian, stood at 5 feet 6 inches tall, had green eyes and strawberry blonde hair which had grown just below her shoulders. She weighed around 115 to 120 pounds, had size 6.5 feet, pierced ears, wore prescription glasses, and had a 1/2 inch circular scar on her forearm. Her DNA, fingerprints, and dentals are available for comparison, and it should be noted that she has been ruled out as being Champaign County Jane Doe, a young woman whose remains were found in a cornfield and ditch in Illinois in 1995. There are several areas in this case which have been left to speculation. Having her belongings in her motel room suggested that she had intended on returning, but why did she fail to do so? Had Melissa planned something, and why did she turn up at the motel much earlier than expected? Who were the two men who accompanied her? Was Denise involved in some sort of illicit activities? What was her relationship like with the father of her son? What about her relationship with the married man? Where did the extra mileage come from on the odometer, and what were the reasons for her car being left abandoned? Is Denise still alive? Sadly, no further clues have been found, and the trail has gone cold, leaving the case unlikely to be solved. But there is always hope that one day the Wells family will get answers about what happened to a loving daughter, friend, and mother.